right, welcome to Honest Chef Podcast. My name is Favour Chukwubike Mugunwa, aka Flavor Shouter, aka the Honest Chef, aka the Minister, depending who is asking. Wow. On today's episode, I have one of the most I have the most prominent Igbo man in Israel, the 001 of Ndigbo, Igwe Eze Ndigbo, His Royal Highness Igwe Ikemba Kelvin Oke Ojukwu is live direct on my podcast. What an honor. Igwe, at this junction, Igwe, over to you.
Daluso. My name is His Royal Highness Chief Oke Ikemba Kelvin Ojukwu, the crown head of the Igbo community in Israel. Igwe Eze the first of the Igbo community in Israel.
In a brief way, tell us, how did you become the traditional ruler of Ndigbo in Israel? Is it by birth, or is it something that you know that you choose to be by yourself, or something that it's they crown you to be the chief or to be the king, like the traditional ruler, most especially?
Well, the journey to Eze Ndigbo in Israel didn't just start with my coronation. I was the president general of the Igbo community for about 16 years, from 2010. So by 2016, I served my last term, where I simply requested that I have served long enough that I want to
rest
aside and then let the younger ones continue to pilot the affairs of the community.
Mm-hmm.
That was when the elders of the community said that someone that has served so well and selflessly for all these years, that they cannot just let me just stay aside, that I have to continue to be in service. So that was how the elders of the community came out with the idea of Eze Ndigbo in Israel. Before then, there have never been an Eze Ndigbo in Israel.
So apparently you are the 001.
Yes, I'm the first crowned head of the Igbo community in Israel. It happened on September 16 in 2016.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. It's been a long time. So, and the President General, I thought they're the same.
The Igbo community in Israel is kind of a picture of, as we might have an Igbo community back home in Nigeria. Because just like everywhere we come from, you have the village, you have the town union.
Mm-hmm.
Every town union has the President General.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly how it is here. Here in Israel, there is the President General, they have the executives. And then, for all these years, the Igbo community has grown, we have flourished to a point that we even have state associations.
Mm-hmm.
We have local government associations.
Okay.
Like all the major Igbo states here, they have their state associations.
Okay.
Apart from the umbrella Igbo community,
mm-hmm.
where all of us are members. So the President General has his executives. Then when the traditional institution was created, there is also the Igwe and cabinet. So I have my own cabinet of mostly elders who help me in organizing the traditional aspect, because as the traditional ruler, I'm like the custodian, the chief custodian of Igbo tradition in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Because living in the diaspora with our families, like our children who were born and brought up in Israel, they have little or no idea about our culture, our heritage, our language.
Yeah, this is
food.
This is where.
So this is part of what we normally do. We organize events, list our own food, our own traditional music, dances. Every 2 years, I normally celebrate my Ofala, where all the entire Igbo community, Israeli community, African community, the entire Nigerian community, everybody gather, and we have a cultural, festival. It used to be very colorful.
This bounds to the question I wanted to ask before. Like, why is it very important for the Ndigbo in diaspora to maintain their culture? Because I think this is not our land. This is we are like strangers here, in as much as we are the Jews. The Ndigbos are the Jews, but in terms of geopolitically, we are not from this place. So why is it more important for us to maintain our culture in this in Israel?
Very good question. It is in the traditional nature of the Igbo man. Like, whenever an Igbo man moves away from his home to find himself in a different place, first and foremost, he looks around to see if he has any brother or somebody from the same place. Then we start to relate. And then that relationship also helps in them to know how to organize themselves to help themselves. It's not something new among the Igbos. It is one of the things that the Igbos have in common with the Jewish people. Because whenever the Jewish people travel away from their homeland,
they have community
come together to form a community in order to relate among themselves, to maintain their culture and their language. So Igbos develop in the same line. Just like when the white man came in Nigeria, and Nigeria started developing when they have the regions, when Igbos moved to different regions in Nigeria, they form what is called the Igbo Union, where Igbos congregate together. They have their meetings, they meet. Whenever there is a problem, they help to solve it, assisting themselves. So wherever we go as economic migrants, we carry that tradition with us. So in Israel here, the same thing happened. So when I came here, I met some Igbos also. They already having an Igbo meeting when I came here in 1997. I met an Igbo meeting already. They call it Igbo family meeting. I registered as a member. So you can imagine
1997
Igbo community started existing here from in the late 70s. Because if I remember the date, but I think Israel and Nigeria re-established their relationship, I think around 1973, 74. So since then, Nigeria started maintaining a diplomatic mission here. Nigerians started coming here, then Igbos started coming here first. The first group that came as students. Before those who came like tourists. And then people started settling. Before you know it, they started congregating around Tel Aviv mostly.
Wow.
So some of them studied in universities around Israel, in Jerusalem, in Ashdod, in Ben Gurion University of the Negev, all those places. There are Igbo Nigerian students are there. So with time, more Igbos are coming, and then we keep on congregating, and then we have our community from there. We set up our monthly meetings, which continues until today. When I came here as a bachelor. I got married here. I have all my family organically developed here.
Wow.
So it's been a long time.
But Igwe, allegedly, it was said that the current Israelites here now, like the current Israeli, the current Israel we are hearing is the descendant of the Jews, like the settlement of the Jews, right? So, does that mean that Igbos settling in Nigeria they are like they're not originally from there, or they migrate, like,
Well, there is something you have to understand on this particular question you asked me, because it's very huge. It's a very big question. The question that has inspired a lot of scholarship, a lot of research. There are historians, archaeology, people have been researching this particular question that you asked me. But one thing is certain, that there is this connection between the Hebrews, which is kind of a corruption of the word Hebrew. Hebrew, 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 Igbo, Igbo. You can see the degradation.
Yes.
And who is an Ivri? If you go to the Bible, Abraham is the first Hebrew. He is the one who crossed over, who migrated, and he crossed over. Ivrit.
That is how the language is called Ivrit.
Yes. But Ivri from Hebrew is the one who crossed over. Somebody who crossed over the river. That is why even in today's Igbo language, there is Ifite. Or Ifite. There is Fite. Ifite, any place you see Ifite, there are people who crossed maybe a river or maybe a stream to settle. So you can see from this original, the root word Ivrit, you see Ifite. So all over Igbo land, every community that has this name Ifite, there are people who crossed over.
Wow.
So, answering your question, there is a very, very strong indication that there is a connection between the Igbos and the Hebrews. Talking about the movement, when Abraham left Mesopotamia to settle here, he settled here, and then he moved. If you follow the stories in the Bible, he moved into Egypt, and then they settled in the Holy Land here. And then there is the time when the Assyrians came. After the children of Israel, they were in Egypt, where the 12 tribes formed. After they came back to this land, and then series of wars, and then the Assyrians. It was strongly believed that during the attack of the Assyrians, when they destroyed the first temple, a huge amount of Hebrews were scattered into exile. It was said that at that moment, since the Assyrians, they are coming from the south. If you can look at it geographically, if the attackers are coming from the east, the escape route most of is normally from the west, in the opposite direction. So if you look at the map of Israel, where Africa is, when that attack happened, so many Hebrews escaped into the African continent. So they continued their migration according to so many historical accounts, and eventually settled today where you call the Igbo land, by the corner of the River Niger.
That is the Niger area.
Yeah, in the Niger area, there where the Igbo settled to get today. So they moved from down to Lake Chad. From Lake Chad, they keep on migrating. The migrational route into Egalaland and all those places, and they finally settled in the Igbo land. So when you look at the migrational route, there are so many remnants along the route. From the names, there are so many connections. And then when you look at the culture of the Igbos, things that originally defined the Igbos exclusively from our neighbors, Igbos are uniquely looks more like the cultures of the Israelites.
Yeah, the Jewish.
Yeah, so many historians and scholars made that connection. Even the Reverend Basden of the Anglican community, when he came to Nigeria in 18-something, he encountered the Igbos and, wrote in his memo that if these people are not Hebrews, maybe the Hebrews are from them. So it's something that is well known. And then there is another school of thought that said, okay, it's true that Igbos and the Jews have a lot in common, that it was the Jews that came out of the Igbos. So for us, whether they came out of the Igbos or the Igbos came out of them, there is something that is undeniable. The two people are connected. Biblically, there are so many things that actually show that.
So, actually, this story is something
Yeah,
It's like a hole. It's like a hole. You keep digging.
It depends on which area we go, because I know that we cannot cover everything in this first podcast.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be a series.
So let's just cut it. Let's just cut it from here. So apparently, tell me how, like the Igbos in Israel, like the Igbo community in Israel, how large are they?
Like I said, we have a flourishing Igbo community in Israel. Like from late 80s, like 77, 78 until now, it's how many years? It's more than 30 something years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have also a flourishing Nigerian community. So we've been here long enough that we have children even born in Israel. So numerically, I don't really know how much I like to put a number on them, but I know that here in Tel Aviv, where majority of us are living, we might be close to maybe 300 families. Then when you talk about some young people, in the whole of the state of Israel, maybe we'll be counted in thousands.
Wow, that's amazing. It's
Because
encouraging.
It was said that if you go to any place, if you don't see an Igbo man, you have to run away.
You have to run away.
And Israel is very close to the African continent.
So, how do you encourage younger Nigerians, like the Igbos, precisely, to stay in Israel? Is this something that is very encourageable to stay? Is this something that you advise people to stay? Because, like what you are saying, you have stayed there for more than 20 years.
30-something years.
Okay, more than 30-something years. So, is this something that you're gonna encourage people? You know, is it in countries they are racy, something like this? So, is this something you're gonna encourage younger ones to stay? People like me, because I'm thinking, should I stay here or should I go to my country? Or is this something that you can encourage me to stay?
Yes, I can encourage you to stay, because to us as Ndigbo, we strongly believe that we are part and parcel of this land. That was exactly what encouraged us in 2006 when we founded the Igbo Jewish community here in Israel. We approached the religious institution, the rabbinate court in Jerusalem, because we have done series of studies and examinations with them, and they were talking about like we have to convert to Judaism. So we made them to understand that we are not converting to Judaism, rather we are returning to what has been our way of life, like Omen and Igbo. Omen and Igbo is Torah. So Omen and Igbo is Judaism encrypted.
Yeah.
So we made them to understand that instead of looking at us as converts, we are like reverts, people who returned. That was how we underwent a special type of conversion that is called Giyul Humra. Giyul Humra is a conversion for a Jew that came back to his religion. So about 120 of us.
That's Aliyah.
No, we're already in the land. Aliyah is when you come from outside. We are already here on the land.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did the studies. Rabbis were teaching us classes to know about the religion, to know about the prayers, the synagogue services, the Torah, and then keeping kosher, and then keeping the laws and the Shabbats and every other thing. We did studies. After that, we went through the process. That was how the Igbo Jewish community was established in Israel. So there are Igbos here in Israel. We even have a chief rabbi, Rabbi Hai Ben Daniel. And then we even helped to establish Jewish communities in Nigeria, those who are practicing the Jewish religion, the authentic Orthodox Jewish religion, as it's supposed to be. So coming to me, encouraging Igbos to live in Israel, of course, it comes natural with me to encourage young Igbos to settle here. You can start your own family. We've been blessed with beautiful girls that we raise by ourselves from our family. So many of them. To root our community, we encourage our young boys to marry our daughters. That will help our community to grow and to flourish. Instead of us to raise them, some people outsiders will come to marry them. Or maybe, maybe because it's true that, racism is not all that very, very strong in Israel, depending on region. Personal experience.
Yeah, personal experience, right, yeah.
But everybody prefers to go within their own community.
Exactly.
Because if you come to Israel here, there are also different communities. You have the Iraqi, the Moroccan, the Russian.
The mostly the Russians, there are a lot.
You have the Ethiopian community.
Yeah, Ethiopian community.
The Yemenite community. So the Iraqi community, everybody wants to
commune with,
So as an Igbo man,
you need to
I also like
expand
Igbo boys to marry Igbo girls.
Yeah.
So in as much as it's not like I'm doing it like it has to be racial. I'm not racial because my wife.
No. You are right. You are right. It's always good to bring in than to give out.
Yeah.
It's good to bring in than to give out. Yeah. So on a very quick one, Igwe, I feel there are some challenges.
There are so many challenges, of course. You know that Israel being a very, very small country, Israel is very, very sensitive when it comes to demography, more especially when population are coming in from outside. So they are very, very sensitive about it. So the idea of regularization of papers for residents is not that very, very easy with Israel. So majority of our people, part of the problem is to regularize your stay because some people come in as tourists, some came in as students. And then there are a sizable number of them because of problems back home, which we cannot deny, political issues in our places that made certain people to flee for their safety, to seek refuge outside. So some of our brothers were in that category, and the Israeli government, they tried their, within their own laws. So sometimes it's a challenge, like extending the stay and regularizing, but there are so many, provisions in the law, in the immigration law here, which, if well arranged or well exploited, there are lawyers also that can help, in regularizing your stay through cohabitation, through marriage.
So apparently,
some people got also through refugee status also, but the refugee status, it has to go through a lot of scrutiny because they have to investigate every single claim. The people that...
So, Igwe, sorry to cut it short. So, which means not the challenges here, it's just mostly on immigration.
Yeah, immigration, yeah.
Not like Igbos are causing trouble, they are fighting, they are...
No, if there is anything I can tell you, haven't been here long enough. Igbos are even Nigerians, not just Igbos, are one of the most law-abiding people you can talk about. Because majority of us, like...
in Israel?
Here in Israel, like, I'm involved in disputations and the settling disputes among our people. Or if there is any problem, maybe with the police, we don't have issues with the criminality. If you will hear that somebody is arrested, most of the times it's because of immigration problem. Maybe somebody's paper got expired and then the police will arrest them. But like committing all sorts of crimes, my community, the Igbos, are one of the most law-abiding.
Igwe, having been here for a very long time, is this something that you, again, I've asked this question before, but I want to be I'm hitting on it. Is it something to advise? Like, is it something to tell us that we can marry other people, like, the Israeli? Is it something advisable? Is it something, how explain? Just I needed to throw more light, because this is very important. It's very important, very, very important.
What I'm just telling you.
Okay, sorry.
Like I said, I am married to an Israeli.
Okay.
At least I never married before I came here. I was 33 years when I came here. I celebrated my 60 years birthday last month. So
wow.
I've been here for close to 30-something years. I got married here, had all my children here.
I was still bouncing in my mommy's belly.
Yeah, so when it comes to establishing a family, my own formula is, I'm not advising any young man to get married to a lady simply because you want documents, because it's not going to work. You have to be very, very honest with yourself. If you meet a young lady and you love her, and you genuinely, love her, and you believe that two of you can make up a family, why not? Go straight ahead and get married to her. But the idea of, I am not advising somebody, if you want paper, go and marry, and then after you get the paper, because when you're doing it for a purpose, that marriage will not be...
Yeah, it will not work.
The mutual respect and love...
will not be there.
Will not be there.
You are right.
So, fall in love, and then consummate the love. As long as you're a young person. Or, if you're lucky, you can even meet a woman that is either divorced or widowed who needs a very good company. No, I'm not suggesting that to you. Because for you will marry a young girl. And I've told you that we have Igbo girls here, Igbo Israelis, born and brought up in Israel. Because already some of our children are in the army. Some of them have finished serving the IDF. Some of them are even in action. Now that the country is dealing with security issues, dealing with wars in Lebanon, in Gaza, and then with Iran. Some of our daughters and sons
they're
are
active.
in action.
They're active, yeah.
So we are part and parcel of the
Israeli community.
Nation. Yeah, that's why we are part of the land now. Bezrat Hashem.
Wow. Baruch Hashem. So, Igwe, what are the values that you feel that are most important for our people to preserve here in Israel?
As Igbos?
Yes. As an Igbo man, as a Nigerian. Mostly, yes, as an Igbo man.
As an Igbo man, we know who we are. Your father will always tell you, remember the son of whom you are. So, it is very, very important to us as Igbos to know our identity, to know our origin. That is why here in Israel we have made several attempts to teach our children our language. That is why we give them our names. That is why though it's a Jewish culture already, it's an Igbo culture originally, to perform circumcision.
Yes.
So all those things. Then we maintained our individual interaction as Omona. We always, come to help ourselves. This is one of the things. It's very, very unique with the Igbos. And then the Jewish people also, because you want to know how is your brother faring. And then we believe in whoever hears the cries of a brother. These are the values that we're inculcating. Then truth, uprightness. Always say it as it is. Encourage your brothers. If you see any enterprise that can yield something, you show your children the way. You show your brothers the way. Because Nandi Bona say Akonada. It was Monaka back. Ndị basịrị n'ime ọhịa ole ndị eriri ha when there is a swarm of locusts and you came out and you saw it, if you don't call your brothers to come and participate in the gathering of those locusts, what about the swarms of locusts that went into the forest and in the bush? Who benefited from them? That is why here in Israel, if we have work, as you can see in our platforms, if there is any work, we always say there is work. If there is any business, like we normally do, we do businesses, we buy stuff, we sell, we do some export. Some of our brothers were into export and import and everything that can help us. And then we are working very hard. One of the values of an Igbo man is we are hard working.
Working, yes, we are hard working.
I have run the
yes.
Igbos are not lazy.
Exactly. Igbos are not lazy.
That is why we work for our money.
Yes.
We don't believe in begging anybody to give us money.
Igwe,
we work for our money.
It is in Israel that I see a young lady of 15 years working in a restaurant as a bartender.
Yes.
You will see Uncle Max and Wanye, they will go up, they will move out looking for things to do. She cannot stay at home and sit down like this. She will tell you, Abba, I want to go to look for work. I need to work. Her daughter, there's one of her big daughter, Favor. This young lady, she is very industrious. Sometimes I'll be asking, how old is this girl? What did she know about money? But you will see, most times she will just move up, going to work. Hello, Favor, where are you? I'm at work, I'm finishing in 1 hour. I'll be like.
It is encouraged. Even among Israelis, it is encouraged to start from early to know that money is not easy to come by.
Yeah. And that is why most children that are born in this place, when you see them, if you tell them things about money, if you tell them, I got this thing for like 50 shekel, they'll tell you, wow, it's too expensive. Because they know the value of money.
Of course.
They know the value of money.
For you to earn 50 shekel, you have to work more than an hour.
Of course. And you know, small children, they give them like 30 shekels per hour, sometimes 25 shekels per hour. So for you to get that 50 shekels worth of item, you must work
for it.
For it.
Even most of it's part of the Jewish even way of doing things. They encourage young people to start working early. Even in rich families, they encourage them to go to work.
Yes.
So that you will know, you will learn money management from a tender age. Not just when your parents are providing everything for you. It makes children to be
lazy,
dependent.
Yeah, you're right.
They cannot even carry their own weight when the time comes. So we encourage our children also to work, more especially where there are work everywhere in Israel. Restaurants are looking for jobs. As bartenders, as dishwashers, as cleaners in restaurants. For young people, they can easily find something to do if they really want to. So it's very good. We encourage them.
So I think this episode is gonna be long, so we're gonna stop on this section. Let's stop on this section. Next time we are going to look into training of children in Israel, how beneficial it is, how is it something that is very simple to do, is it something that is very difficult to do. But Igbo, can you tell the people watching 1 or 2 words so that they can
Well, the greatest thing we look from our viewers at home to pray for Israel. Pray for Israel. Pray for the Middle East. Pray for peace.